Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, or good night. But don't go to bed, wherever you might be right now. And welcome to our concert, Now is the Time. My name is Dennis Donnelly, Director of Wavelengths Community Choir, and these are Kathy Baker and Dick Jackson, leaders of the Getting Higher Choir. And we're welcoming you this evening with open hearts. This season we joined our choirs together and practiced together in four-part harmony with the help of my wife Lynn, who is sitting right behind me. And sometimes our avid singers Dawn and Christine helped us out. We're really excited to bring you musical offerings we've been working on with our dedicated singers, many of whom are on screen here since September. So welcome everybody.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Christine. And thank you, Sam. We want to acknowledge the traditional territories of the many Indigenous peoples whose lands we have the honor on which to live, play, work, and sing, and from which tonight's collaborative concert is being shared. Dick and I, and Katie Blake from Habitat Acquisition Trust, more often known as HAT, and Rhonda Brown of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Victoria and area, are all living in the traditional and unceded territory of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, known now as the Esquimalt and Songhees nations. Lynn and Dennis live on the ancestral lands of the Tsartlip people of the Wasanich nation. We make this acknowledgement with humility and gratitude, and as one small step on the pathway of undoing the damage of colonialism, and of doing the work towards living in right relations with all peoples who have lived and still live on these lands. Haichka, Miigwech, thank you. It is a joyful challenge to put virtual choir videos together. Congratulations to the singers for rising to that challenge. I found great solace in the music of Carolyn Aarons, especially when my three kids were all under 3 years of age, and I needed a little encouragement from time to time. I actually got a whole lot of laundry folded while listening to this particular song, and it felt like a huge accomplishment. We sincerely hope that our choir's version inspires you to take whatever first steps you may have been putting off or putting on hold, and to help you shine your own beautiful light into the world.
Or to fold some laundry.
There you go, that's right, yeah. Please enjoy This Is the Moment by the great Vancouver-based singer-songwriter Carolyn Aarons.
Okay.
I don't pretend to know what it's like walking in your shoes, but I know your path will be the one you choose. So whatever has been keeping you from walking through that door, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Yeah, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Hey! The day is done, it don't come back. So each and every second is too precious to ignore. already on your side. It'll give you what you need now, nothing less and nothing more. This is the moment you've been waiting for. 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 Hey!
Thank you, everyone. It's great to see all that visual applause. And just so you know, this is the first time our singers are seeing these videos that we are showing. We kept it secret from them until right now. Okay, I see we've got at least 224 people online and many more on YouTube Live. One moment here while I move something around. There we go. So hello everyone on YouTube Live. Great to have you here. Now, to help our Zoom audience get the most out of the concert, just a couple of little notes who are new to Zoom, if there's one or two of you out there. First, for those who are on a phone or a tablet, the way to see more people who are in the room here, swipe left as many times as you like, and then swipe right to get back to seeing the current speaker. If you don't yet see control buttons at the bottom of your screen, tap your screen to bring up a number of controls, and a More button with even more options. For everyone else on Mac or Windows, at the top right is a View button where you can switch from speaker view to gallery view. In gallery view, you can see more people who are watching here. Try out all the side-by-side options if you like. Click Stop Video for when you don't want your picture to be shown to the crowd. Chat button, you're welcome to use that. Use the direct chat to one other person at a time when possible. If you find the chat distracting, you can click the button to make its window disappear. If you like, you can change the name that appears in your video box by clicking the 3 dots button and choosing Rename. Our singers and our charity partners have put letters before their names to show their affiliations. If you're from outside of Victoria, welcome to add to your name where in the world you are located. We love to know. If you're finding that you're having trouble watching on Zoom, you can always switch to YouTube Live by clicking the link that should be coming into the chat now. There you go. Thanks, Amanda. Or you can find that at the Getting Higher Choir webpage if you get lost entirely. Thanks.
So tonight, during this 2-hour show, we are doing a number of things, which I want to just give you a little heads up about right now. We're sharing 6 virtual choir videos. You've seen one of them already, put together with the creative genius of Nick LaRiviere. What would we do without him?
Yeah.
Amazing. We'll have a few words from the charities, from HAT and Big Brothers Big Sisters, and short videos and from them, and we'll scattering them through the show, highlighting the work that they do. We'll have a 10-minute break at roughly the 1-hour mark, at which point there'll be breakout rooms you can go to. There'll be named breakout rooms. Go to the one that works for you. We'll have more about that later. We'll have Peggy Seeger's pre-recorded half-hour set. And in case you've just arrived, in the chat window, you'll see links to donate to our charity partners, as well as a PDF of tonight's concert program. So you can have that there. You could even print it out if you wanted to, or have it on your screen somewhere. And so now I'd like to welcome Katie Blake from HAT.
Thanks, Dennis. Hi, everyone. I wish we could be together tonight, but lovely to be with you on Zoom. My name's Katie Blake. I'm the Executive Director of Habitat Acquisition Trust. As Kathy mentioned, we more frequently go by HAT. And we're a local community-based organization that protects and restores wildlife habitat on southern Vancouver Island. We're really passionate about empowering people to steward the unique and endangered ecosystems that are found only in this part of the world. You're going to be learning more, as Dennis mentioned, you'll be learning more about our work on a couple of videos throughout the evening, and catch me at intermission in a chat group if you want to learn more about what HAT's up to. But I wanted to take the opportunity to thank, from the bottom of my heart, Dennis and Dick and Kathy and Lynn and the Wavelengths Community Choir and the Gettin' Hired Choir for supporting HAT and for supporting our natural world through their music tonight. It's just such a joy to be part of. Thank you so much, everyone who's worked so hard to bring this evening into being. So you're going to watch a video about HAT and some of our conservation programs right now. And then after, please enjoy Shower the People by James Taylor, sung by the combined choirs.
The Good Neighbors program is a stewardship program with private property owners across the Capital Regional District. We provide landowners with tools to become effective stewards, which can include gardening with native plants, in removing invasive species, and creating wildlife habitat. The Good Neighbors program was inspired by the fact that over 80% of the land mass in the CRD is privately owned. These are critical pieces of wildlife habitat across the region, and a lot of those private property owners are wanting to know, how can we better steward the land in our backyards? We have been working on the Good Neighbors program for 15 years, and since then have engaged over 850 landowners across the Capital Regional District.
My name is Heloise Nicol, and I live on a piece of land and own a piece of land in Metchosin that is still relatively wild. There's a lot of native plants here, but it's totally been changed by humans. It's been logged. This area used to all be Daphne, and it's mainly been cleared out. The Good Neighbors program has really helped us to learn about our own land and what is important to keep and what is important to remove, and how to improve the health of the land. This house was literally built on a Garry Oak meadow, and I can see remnants of that all around. So I just want to try and improve that meadow again.
My name is Rod Mitchell. I'm a Metchosin resident, and we're standing here at a little wetland that I put together after finding frogs living in a wet test hole. And I decided there wasn't enough water for me to use, so we turned it over to the frogs and made it better. That's the short version. I had the advantage of being involved with HAT, and I had experts come out and tell me how I could make it better for free. That's a big deal. The HAT came out and planted a number of native plants all through here, and they did well.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how do you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? But one thing can lead to another, it doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother and sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel.
for you to scroll. I just love that song. Thank you, James Taylor, wherever you are. I had the great honor and pleasure of interviewing Peggy Seeger a few days ago. Amazing. She's been active in folk music as a performer, collector, songwriter, recording artist, writer, producer, and mentor. Singing mentor, songwriting mentor to many since she appeared on the music scene in the 1950s, a decade that also saw her brothers Pete and Mike launch their storied musical careers. It is an amazing privilege to be able to talk with someone so deeply versed in and so committed to music that reaches so deeply into our shared humanity. I hope you enjoy her informal and delightful recountings, as I did, of some of the chapters in her amazing life in music. We'll present the interview in two parts. Here is part one. Peggy Seeger. Welcome, everybody. As you know, our guest this evening is Peggy Seeger, and it is a huge honor and privilege for me to have her here. I have been a fan of Peggy Seeger for a long time. As a matter of fact, right here, I still have my treasured copy of
Wow, that's what I
Peggy
used to
Seeger
look like when I was 25.
and that's a picture of you at the 1969
The Newport Folk Festival.
Newport Folk Festival. Yes, indeed it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I still have that. And so it's just wonderful for me to have you here, Peggy. First of all, I just want to just touch on your growing up. I mean, your parents, Ruth Crawford and Charles Seeger, were deeply involved in folk music and in all different kinds of music. And then you grew up singing with your brothers, Pete and Mike, and your sisters. And that must have been an amazingly rich broth.
It was a very unusual upbringing because I was surrounded with field recordings of the real folk singers, you know, the ones that the Lomaxes and other collectors went out to collect from in the 1930s, and I think right through the war. It was part of Roosevelt's program for the country's recovery from the Depression.
Yes.
So I didn't actually sing with Pete a lot. Pete on his own. I sang with Mike a bit, but not a lot, mostly at home and occasional concerts. But the three of us have such different ways of performing that it didn't work when we were all three on the stage. It really didn't work. The poor old audience never knew where it was. Pete just threw himself out to everybody, and his arms were open, and he was extrovert when he would, and Mike was introvert. He just sat there and played, and you had to come into him.
Yes.
I am a mixture of the two of them, but I don't think I do as well at each of their extremes as they did. So I more or less came over to this country here as a solo singer. And I sang with Ewan McCall for 30 years. I have met a lot of the biggies, but mostly my people that I most revere are many of the people that I've collected from, people that I've written songs about, people who I've written songs for, like the one that you're going to talk about today, Love Call Me Home.
But I think you still sing a lot of traditional music, and you feel it's value to us. And I'd like to know just a little bit about where that is for you, Peggy.
Well, I'm an anomaly over here because in the early days of the British revival, many of the Britishers, Scots, Irish, and English, not so much the Welsh, sang American songs, but I couldn't bear their renditions because they were either so fast I mean, to hear Lonnie Donegan sing Rock Island Line, it was over before it began. And to hear they were singing the songs of another country. I was singing the songs of my own country, and I had heard enough field singers to know roughly how to do it. I'm not a folk singer. I'm a singer of folk songs. I grew up comfortably. I'm middle class. The folk songs are from the working class. They are not from middle class people. A lot of middle class people have written songs that sound like folk songs because of that interest for so many years in the actual folk songs themselves. So over here, I don't sing a whole lot of American folk songs anymore. And I have a number of new songs. So, and I sing with my son Callum or my son Neil. So nowadays, one of our concerts would maybe have 3 or 4 folk songs in it, and the rest would be songs for now, which I feel are more useful than me singing American folk songs here.
You know, this
Especially as I don't play so well as I used to. And a lot of the attraction of my music then was that I played the banjo quite well. I played the guitar as an accompaniment instrument. I played the Appalachian dulcimer and the autoharp. But I learned the concertina so I could accompany Ewan MacColl singing his Britisher songs. When I sit and practice at night, which I do for an hour and a half every single friggin' day, just to keep myself in order, I sing a huge amount of American songs just to myself because I just love them. And I remind myself that deep down, I am part American. I'm still part American, although I've lived in this country, except for a 16 years sojourn in America in the 90s and the early 2000s. I've lived in this country since 1959.
And now over to Rhonda Brown from the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Victoria and area.
Hello, everybody. I'm really pleased to be here this evening, and this is my second year as the executive director of Big Brothers Big Sisters, joining this performance, which is so impressive. I'm always so moved by the singing, and it's such a pleasure to work with such an amazing planning committee with Dennis and Lynn and Kathy and Dick and Mike Wyeth, who's such a strong advocate for our organization, and Katie, who does the good work of protecting our planet for all the kids we serve at Big Brothers Big Sisters. I just wanted to say a little bit about our organization tonight, and thank you in advance to all of our choir members, the Wavelengths Choir and the Getting Higher Choir, for your hard work in putting this event on. And for all the people who are joining us this evening and considering making a donation to either HAT or Big Brothers Big Sisters, thank you. Big Brothers Big Sisters in Victoria has been serving children and youth for 44 years, and we are touching the lives of over 400 children and families on an annual basis. We're an agency that's focused on relationships in the middle of a pandemic, which creates some challenges for sure. But I will say that we work with an amazing team of volunteers who are working hard to make sure that children have a consistent relationship that is supportive and keeping them in weekly contact where they do feel support and can talk about some of the challenges that they're facing in the community or in school as a result of the pandemic or other adversities that they're experiencing in their lives. We have an ambitious goal of serving 1,000 kids by 2025. And we're not doing that because strictly for the sake of growing our agency out of ambition. We're doing it because there is a need, and we're feeling a real call to action. We're recognizing that as a result of the pandemic, children are experiencing developmental disruption. The mental health of our children is of great concern, and we need your help and the help of our community to close the gap between kids that we serve and the kids that we're waiting. So thank you. Being here is a huge support to us. I have the pleasure this evening. It was wonderful to hear Peggy's interview. I can't wait to hear more from her, but I have the pleasure this evening of introducing the choir with a song by Samara Jade. The song Sing With Me Sweetly, and we will have an introduction by Samara herself. Thank you.
I am just so tickled and enthused that Dick and Kathy chose to sing my song, Sing With Me Sweetly, because it really is meant to be a song sung by many people. It's about singing together. It's actually a song inspired by many, many nights laid around the campfire at singing gatherings and other nights of my life where people come together and sing around the fire, and you just have a really hard time leaving that fire because there's just so much palpable magic that is built up through the sharing of songs and the layering and harmonizing of voices together that it becomes so hard to leave that you end up staying up all night singing. There's been a handful of really magical nights of my life that have been spent that way, and that was partly what inspired that song. So it's beautiful to hear you all singing that with the Getting Higher Choir. Yeah, I really enjoyed my visit up to Victoria a couple years ago and working with the choir, and I hope to be back for a visit and maybe some shows sometime the next year or so. But yeah, sending y'all some blessings from sunny North Carolina, and really excited that you're singing this song, so thank you and enjoy.
So let's sing to the sun as it sings far below the horizon, and the stars appear, and one by one they glow, and our voices lift like smoke up from the fire. And who knows where they go? Where they go. Sing with me sweetly, we'll stay up all night till the songs that we sing bring the morning light. Sing with me sweetly tonight. We'll sing till our voices blend into one, till the sound waves are aligned and our egos are undone. You know it's the best kind of sharing love, to harmonize in union, to harmonize in union.
Isn't that a sweet song? And the choir, you did so beautifully with that. Speaking of sweet singing, given the state of the world and what we know about the benefits of singing together, if ever there was a time to sing together, now is the time. And we're inviting you to join us in singing right now, right here. You'll all stay on mute. If you join in, you'll be singing with, you'll be part of a mini choir with Dick and I, and with Lynn and Dennis. Thanks. This little gem of a song is so perfect for our times. It was the inspiration for our concert title, Now is the Time. It was written by Brian Hoover, the beloved life partner of our song leader friend Shasta Martinuk of Bowen Island. Sadly, Brian passed away after suffering a major stroke last fall. He lived life to the fullest and loved bringing music to his and Shasta's community. And it is in his honor and in Shasta's honor that we share this beautiful song with you this evening. We'll teach it orally like we do many of our songs, one line at a time by call and response. You'll never be singing alone. When we turn it into a round in 2 parts, you can follow either Dick and me or Dennis and Lynn. So we'll just need the key. And the lyrics, I think Amanda's going to put in the chat.
Let's see here. How are we doing? Look at that.
Look at there they are. If ever there was a time to sing together, try that.
If ever there was a time to sing together,
now is the time, now is the time,
now is the time, now is the time.
Come and sing with me, sing in harmony, healing spirit come to us.
Come and sing with me, sing in harmony, healing spirit come to us.
Help us find our way to each other.
Help us find our way to
Let's
each
sing the whole
other.
thing together.
If ever there was a time to sing together, now is the time, now is the time. Come and sing with me, sing in harmony, healing spirit come to us. Help us find our way to each other. If ever there was a time to sing together, now is the time, now is the time. Come and sing with me, sing in harmony, healing spirit come to us. Help us find our way to each other. If ever there was a time to sing together, now is the time, now is the time. Come and sing with me, sing in harmony, healing spirit come to us. Help us find our way to each other. Come and sing with me, sing in harmony, healing spirit come to us. Help us find our way to each other.
Help us find.
Help us find our way to each other.
I'm so glad you all found your way to us here tonight. Thank you.
And if you're tempted to have more of this kind of singing in your life, next season we will continue with our joint choir of the Wavelengths and Getting Higher together, supported by our four voices here. We'll be starting the new season online the week of February 21st with choir evenings Mondays and Tuesdays. Kathy and I will also continue our Wednesday evening sing-in sessions as well. The choir evenings for this season will be focusing more on singing in the moment with shorter, quicker to learn, delicious songs like what we just sang together, and less on longer concert arrangements. Come and check us out on February 21st, the Monday, or the Tuesday, the 22nd, at no charge, and see if it's for you. More details will be posted on the Getting Higher Choir website and the Wavelengths website. You can go and check that out and register on Zoom to join us. So here's the rest of the lovely video that tells of the good work that HAT is doing in our region.
I'm Nithya Harris, and I'm here in Calypso Woods in the southern part of Vancouver Island.
And I'm Scott Harris, and I'm here too. I don't know where I am.
So this land is in a corridor from the East Souk Park right to the Souk Hills Wilderness Park. And so the animals have to go back and forth, and so by putting a covenant on it and protecting the land, you're ensuring safe passage, especially the big animals like the bears, the cougars, and the wolves. And people soon see that when they start doing these kinds of things. We live in an area here where development is rampant. Everywhere you look, forests are being torn down, basically logged, and development is happening. And that's the future, unless somebody does something about it. And our concern was that, you know, we right now are protectors of this land and we love the land, but what happens when we're no longer around? And when that happens, then we want to make sure the land is protected by organizations like HAT, because that means this land has a chance to become an old growth forest like it should be.
There's a sense of community that is created in neat ways. You know, when I see another habitat acquisition sign, I know immediately I can have a conversation with that person and they get me. It's a way for people to come together and have an excuse to get together in community and help the land.
You know, as we're talking about that, I'm thinking about the love you feel for a pet. And the way you know, we cuddle with them, we pet them, we kiss them, and we just schmoozle them, right? And it's such a nice feeling. And I think feeling the same way about the land is important. Everything you do impacts it, and it's really important to be kind and loving. It's a pretty tiny wetland, but I still like it.
In the life of a forest, we're here for a very short time. And so we just love the land, and so we want to see it protected. For the next person that buys it, then it will still be protected. So.
If you're interested in becoming a habitat steward and you want to learn more, you can contact the habitat stewardship staff at HAT, and you can also get a land care assessment where we'll come in and meet with you on the land and identify some of your stewardship goals, and we'll be happy to help in any way we can to offer resources and tools to get you there.
Wonderful work that HAT is doing in our landscape around the Capital Region District. So I first heard the song Pass It Along in a version that our friend Bob Bosson from Gabriola Island, you might remember Bob from string band days. Bob put this song together featuring a number of notable singers from Canada, Britain, and Europe. A wonderful little thing that you can find it on YouTube actually. I fell in love with the song and contacted the songwriter Scott Cook, who lives in Edmonton most of the time when he's not touring. Here is Scott to talk about how he came to write it, and then please enjoy our combined choirs singing of my arrangement of Pass It Along. By the way, in his lovely intro, Scott forgot to mention wavelengths, but fear not, wavelengths, you're all there in it. So. now it's on loan to me.
And it's good company after dinner, and it fits my hands just fine. But someday another singer with a pair of hands like mine will coax out songs much prettier, still hiding in its strings, and sing stronger, braver words than I could ever sing.
And folks are gonna love it, of this I'm almost sure. So I'll take good care of it, 'cause I'm borrowing it from her. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along.
This here is my country. Sometimes it's hard to recognize it, but I count myself lucky to have been born inside it.
And I'm grateful for the rights others struggled hard to win. And you know I'm gonna fight when they try to take 'em back again.
Oh, and everywhere our teachers, though some fell along the way, but the words they said still reach just like you're teaching me here today. And it may not be loud, but it's clear in what you do, and I hope to make you proud, because I borrowed it from you. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. These days we're in a hurry to grab up all that's left to use, putting patents on discoveries, making seeds that don't reproduce. If our vision is so narrow, seeing only bought and sold, we'll end up like the pharaohs, buried with their gold. We've all pushed this thing along, we've been guided by our fear, but the river sings a song we've got to be quieter to hear.
It's in every child's face, it's as hopeful as a stem.
Let's be gentle with this place, 'cause we're borrowing it from them. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along, pass it along.
Sweet song. And we had a little technical challenge, and we'll share Scott's intro video probably just after the intermission. And I'm just curious, maybe by enthusiastic wave of hands, has anybody ever experienced technical glitches during a Zoom meeting or a Zoom concert before? Okay, phew. So we're not the only ones ever, apparently.
No, we're in good company.
Yeah.
We're in good company. But we do want you to see the introduction that Scott Cook recorded for Pass It Along.
Yeah.
So if we have that ready, why don't we just go with that?
Hey friends, this is Scott Cook here. I'm coming to you from the back of a van in an RV park in Austin, Texas. And I was just so elated that the Getting Higher choir has decided to perform my song, Pass It Along, and extra stoked that they are doing it for an online show with Peggy Seeger. The song actually came about years ago. I was talking to my friend David Ross McDonald, a great fingerstyle guitar player and songwriter from Australia. And he plays this 80-something-year-old guitar that he found in a pawn and gun shop somewhere in the deep south. And he was telling me that he had just gotten it out of the shop after having it fixed up a bit. And when he played it again, he said he felt like it had kind of lost something, like some of the charm that it had in the process of being fixed up. And he seemed pretty bummed about it, you know. And so I said, sorry to hear that, Dave. And he said, you know what? I'm just borrowing it from the next guy who's going to play it anyway. And I said, there's a song in that, Dave. He was like, you can have it. So it stuck with me for a while. And then I was taking a month off the road in a fishing village on the northeast of Taiwan, a little place called Fulong. And while I was there, yeah, the song came out. That was 2012, I'd say, and I've been singing it ever since. And even more importantly to me, other people have been singing it. That's the greatest honor for a songwriter, and so I'm super grateful that you folks are singing it and passing it along. Thank you for all you do. Keep shining.
Go ahead.
So that was Scott talking about the song, of course, you heard just before the link. What a great guy, eh? What a great guy. Boy, I wish we had him around here for his bass voice. Okay, in case you've just arrived, in the chat window you'll see the links to donate to our charity partners, as well as a PDF of tonight's concert program. And I'm very happy to say total donations are now up to just under $5,000, which is amazing.
Thank you.
So thank you. And these links will be open for a while, so you can still tell your family and friends to go to those links, and they'll be there. We are delighted to present the second part of the interview with Peggy Seeger. It will be followed immediately with the choir singing my arrangement of Peggy's beautiful and moving song, Love Call Me Home. And some of you might recognize the background video as Goldstream River just outside Victoria in Goldstream Park. The footage was beautifully shot by Dick on my left shoulder here. Of course, the whole video was put together by the amazing Nick LaRiviere. You said you like to write songs that move humanity down the road a little bit. How can we use the humanity's gift of music to maybe help make things a little better? That's a big question, but I just love to hear what your thoughts are about that.
I've been through a number of stages of songwriting. When I was with you and McCall, I made up a lot of songs about movement politics. That is the old left-wing politics. Much of what was based on big industry and professions that had hundreds of thousands of people in them. Those were strikes, songs about Nelson Mandela, anti-apartheid, and union songs. And the radio ballads, which you did mention as work with the BBC, you must look those up, anybody who wants to know about them. Just BBC radio ballads. It began in my songwriting history, a type of songwriting which I call radio ballad songs. That is, if you want to write a song about someone in a wheelchair, you don't just write what you think that person thinks. You go and record somebody who is in a wheelchair and you use their words. And if you record them, I don't want to say properly, but if you record them well, they will come out with saying things that you never would have dreamed of yourself. And I've made up about 12.5 songs about other people. Two about battered women, women who've been domestically abused. One of a woman who has RSI, repetitive strain injury in her arms from too much typing. A song about a union leader, a woman, Asian woman, union leader, who led a really incredible strike in London for a whole year. You go and you just record them, and you just let them speak, and you don't interrupt. You occasionally you guide them to their deeper sense of what they are about, and these are really strong songs. I wrote one about a fellow named Jimmy Massey. It's called The Ballad of Jimmy Massey. And he was a Marine who deserted in Iraq because he said, this isn't what I was trained for, to kill women and children. And to me, it's a really powerful song because he was so good at just explaining and talking in his own language. So a number of different ways of songwriting. At present, my latest CD, which is called First Farewell, and you can get it off my website. I am very fond of making what I call wedge songs, songs that start out in one way, and it seems that this is the subject, what I'm talking about, but then it turns out to be something completely different. On the new album, which Invisible Woman is about, is actually on, it has a wedge song called Lubrication. And the minute you say lubrication, people smile, you know. And the first verse is about what people think it is. And then it turns out in the last verse, it's about something completely different. So it's important, I think, in songwriting now to help people correlate one subject with another, because all of the things we do, the things we learn, the things that are happening to us, they're all related and interconnected. Our education teaches us to focus on this thing. And, you know, that thing depends on this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Different disciplines in education really are tied together. They're dependent on each other. Ewan MacColl was fantastic at this. I would ask him, why did Beethoven write the way he did? And he would give a 45-minute talk to me about what the politics of the time was, what people were dressing in, what the class relations were, what wars were going on, what the art world was like at that time, what religious things were going on at that time. And at the end, you got this a tapestry of the world that Beethoven lived in. And that's why he wrote the way he did. So I'm writing the way I write now because I feel we need to correlate one thing with another. Over here, right now, there are three big issues: COVID, Brexit, and climate change. Climate change, believe it or not, is actually a bit on the back burner because everybody is talking about COVID. Everybody's talking about Brexit. But climate change is the biggest one issue that the whole human race is going to suffer from. And yet it's on a back burner. And it's so big, people don't know how to deal with it.
Well, I'm really, really happy that you're out there in person with these kinds of things. And I would imagine going to a concert of yours, they're going to hear these kinds of thoughts as well as the songs, aren't they? And you've got a tour. Peggy, I looked at the itinerary of your tour in April, but starting in summer. And I thought, my goodness, that would exhaust a 20-year-old. How do you still do it?
Well, I do it because I now have a team that I travel with. When I used to tour Canada, I just drove myself in my motorhome and I did the whole job myself, including standing on the merch table in the interval, piling everything in the van before going, unpacking it, putting it in the hall, setting up, doing the sound check, giving the concert, then coming down and signing things at the merch table, packing. I did it all myself until my 80th birthday. And that was when my sons, two of them, gave me an 80th birthday present of coming out on tour with me for what was supposed to be a week. It ended up being 16 dates. And so we traveled out in a tour van, and I had my daughter-in-law, who's my manager, and we took with us a sound engineer. So that was 5 of us in a tour van with everything packed in the back. And I didn't do a thing other than take care of myself and sing. And that's what I do now. Travel in a tour van with a sound engineer, 1 son, and my tour manager. And it is, I don't know, I'm born. It's heaven. So I can do it.
Well, Peggy, we will buy your records, your CDs, and we
do
will
buy the memoir. Do buy the memoir. I worked hard on that. It's also on audible.com with me reading it. It's
Right.
called First Time Ever. Took a lot of time to write, and it's an easy read.
And we should tell people too, if they're wondering where that title came from, that Roberta Flack's song that she made so popular was actually talking about your face.
Yes, I know. People look at it now. And say, "What?"
The first time ever I saw your face. Yes, written by you and McCall for you, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yes. Well, Peggy, it's been such an honor and a pleasure to talk to you right today. And I'm looking forward to your little mini concert, which you'll be doing for us following this interview. So first of all, I want to thank you, Peggy, for being here and being so wonderfully accepting of my invitation to have this little time with you.
If we could just ask Amanda to keep that file going. It has the next song, Love Call Me Home.
When the waters are deep, friends carry me over. When I cry in my sleep, love call me home. Time
right. And now here's Peggy again with her musical set recorded specially for us a week ago. Peggy invites us into her home and sings and plays for us as if we were sitting right there with her and chatting about the songs and sharing a cup of tea. How great would that be? Please welcome again Peggy Seeger.
Hello, Canada. I'm singing for you in Oxford, UK. I'm delighted to be doing this. Really, I always enjoyed coming to Canada. You guys know how to listen. So tonight I'm going to, because it is tonight here, it's about 7:30 at night, and you're just sitting down to lunch or something like that. Tonight I'm going to do 7 songs for you, and the first one's called Invisible Woman. I made it with my son Neil, 6'2", age 62, and when we started to do the songwriting, neither of us had a subject, but he started talking about how he feels invisible at his age. I kind of thought it was that he felt invisible to young women, but I said, how about trying to be an 85-year-old woman, because that is something totally different. So that's what the song turned out to be, and it's called Invisible Woman, and it's being sung by the Wild Woman of Oxford. What a beautiful, beautiful baby, said the face looking down from the sky. A neighbor dropped in and tickled my chin. What a beautiful baby was I. Growing up I made sure of attention. Everyone's eyes were on me. And into my teens I was never not seen. The whole world revolved around me, me. I was here for the birth of my children. I was here, the belle of the ball. 80 years have gone by in the blink of an eye. Now it seems that I'm not here at all. Here comes the invisible woman. She's been on the planet for years. You can't make her out, but there's never a doubt the invisible woman is here. I strolled down the high street on Sunday in clown shoes and lace underwear. Did they notice my dance? Not one single glance, so I guess that I can't have been there. I can't recall when it first happened, don't know how I became so unseen, how my tangible self was put on the shelf. These words on the label has been. Here comes the invisible woman. She's been on the planet for years. You can't make her out, but there's never a doubt the invisible woman is here. Why should I feel so much less than I am? There's so much more of me now. Gray hair, whiskers, wrinkles and such, dressing for comfort and longing for touch. It should be so simple, it feels like so much to ask you to see me. Da, 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 da. It's only a feature of nature. You will start vanishing too. You will get old, left out in the cold. The ghost army's waiting for you. Like the leaves that fall before winter, like the day that turns into the night. We may not have a choice, but we still have a voice. The invisible gals love a fight. Here comes the invisible woman. She's been on the planet for years. She has plenty to say, she won't go away. The invisible woman is here, here, here. The invisible woman is here. Yes, the next song is about a very visible woman. I first saw her at Greenham Common in the mid-'80s. If you don't know what Greenham Common was, you should look it up on the internet. It's just like it sounds, Greenham. It was a women's peace camp made to object to the coming of cruise missiles plonked down on our UK soil in a not disused airbase, but it was the longest runway in Europe at the time of the Second World War. And it was just plonked down in that airbase, and we had to deal with it as UK citizens. It turned Britain into a different kind of target for Russia. So this was a fantastic demonstration. It was 9 miles around the perimeter of the base, and 30,000 women came to join hands all the way around the base. 5,000 police came too. It was not peaceful. And I looked through the crowd, and I saw this woman in a wheelchair, about 60 years old, cutting the fences with bolt cutters. So I went down, I knelt down by her wheelchair, and I said, I'm a songwriter. I'd like to write a song about you. She didn't even look up. She says, I'm busy. So I found out who she was, Jennifer Jones, headmistress of a school in Finchley, an architect, wonderful woman. And I used her words. All these words are hers. And I made it into a song called Woman on Wheels. No, it's here. Sometimes I forget what key I'm in. It's not old age, I've been doing it since I was 29. I'm a woman on wheels, but I still got my brain. I'm gonna tell you how it feels to be your own railway train. Roll down to the corner, put on your brakes. I'm gonna tell you what it takes to be a woman on wheels. Roll on over the holes, the bumps, the crack, roll on. Do you remember that day we were running for the train and my tire went flat? Roll on. That man over there, the one under the hat, trying so hard not to stare. Get used to that, still's better than looking, than looking away. You get that every day. You're a woman on wheels. Roll on. Pity me and I'll pity you. Roll on. All they ever want to talk to me about is the things that I can't do. Roll on. When it comes to curbs, when it comes to stairs, I've got my special words. And I don't mean prayers. When it comes to the shops, to reach the merchandise is a major exercise for the woman on wheels. Roll on. I want a chair that can levitate. Roll on. I want to race up ramps or run downstairs. Wouldn't that be great? Roll on. I went down to Greenham and I was cutting the fence. Cops pulled me out of the way. Then they waded in. They said, you'll never get arrested, a little lady like you. I says, who are you talking to? I'm a woman on wheels. I said, hold on, I've got my rights to demonstrate. Roll on. Next time I went down, I took a dozen bolt cutters and a dozen wheelchair mates. Roll on. She actually did that. Wonderful. I want to be alone, but I'm always under care. I've got this urge to run. Me and my chair were together for life, and not together for love. There's things I need more of. I'm a woman on wheels. Roll on. So many places can't go roll on. I want to lie in a field with the flowers, or run on a beach with the sand between my toes. Roll on. Well, I need you, but you need me to tell you about a different view of the world you see, about the pain I feel, about the fight I've won, about how to do some little things you think can't be done. Roll on with the deaf and blind, the lame and halt. Roll on. There's money around to help us all. Its crippled system holds us back, keeps the people on wheels off the mainline track. That's Jennifer Jones. She's gone now, but it's nice to know that her words remain. These days, writing songs about our ecological position, I'm looking for new ways to do it. And this one's called Wasteland Lullaby. And like a lot of jokes, and this song is not a joke, it's you realize the whole picture in the punchline, in the last line. I haven't sung this in ages. I play the piano now more than I do the instruments because I have this enormous arthritic joint here that has almost incapacitated my right hand. So I am happy on the piano, so I play more songs on the piano these days. Wasteland Lullaby. Curl yourself up in your bed. They've turned on the nighttime below. I'll tell you a wonderful tale, the story of long ago. The moon was the lamp of the night, the sun was the light of the day. Farmers went out on the land, children went out to play. There was green and the purple and gold, the snow and the wind and the rain, autumn and winter and spring that never will come again. The oceans and seas were clear, forests were heavy with green. There's a flower they call the red rose that no one has ever seen. Creatures crept out in the dark, in meadow and mountain and fen. My grandmother once heard a lark, it will never be heard again. The earth was a present to men who used it and threw it away. But tomorrow the air may be clear and you can go up to play. When you sing songs like that, you follow the whole meaning in your head, and sometimes it's hard to get back to the what is the real world anymore anyway. I'm not in terribly good voice at present, and at present means a lot. So I'm going to sing you a song that's called Weevily Wheat. It's kind of like, it's an American adaptation of a Jacobite song. The Jacobite songs were made in the 1740s, about Bonnie, Prince Charlie and all that stuff. And when the Americans got hold of it, when it traveled to a different country and right down the generations, it was a bit like that old game we used to play called telephone. Do you remember it? You sat in a circle and you whispered just once to the next person next to you, you might say Bonnie Prince Charlie. You're only allowed to say it once, and whispered. And they have to whisper it to the next person, Bonnie Prince Charlie. And then it goes around the circle, and by the time it gets back to the original person, it might not even sound anything like Bonnie Prince Charlie. And that's what happened to the songs. So I'm going to sing you an American song called Weevily Wheat. And it does mention Charlie, but nothing about coming back to England to claim the throne. I don't want none of your weevily wheat, I don't want none of your barley. Give me flour in half an hour, I'll bake a cake for Charlie. Over the river to feed my sheep, over the river to Charlie. Over the river to feed my sheep and gather in my barley. Don't want none of your weevily wheat, I don't want none of your barley. Give me flour in half an hour, I'll bake a cake for Charlie. If you love me like I love you, we'll no longer tarry. Have the old folks flying round, fixing us to marry. I don't want none of your weevily wheat, I don't want none of your barley. Give me flour in half an hour, I'll bake a cake for Charlie. And I don't know where this verse came from, but I love it. Daddy's gone to Shuffletown, mother's gone to Dover. Sister wore her slippers out, a kicking Charlie over. Don't want none of your weevily wheat, I don't want none of your barley. Give me flour in half an hour, I'll bake a cake for Charlie. Charlie, he's a nice young man, at courting Charlie's handy. Every time he goes to town, he brings me back some candy. Yes, Charlie, he's a handsome boy, Charlie, he's a dandy. And Charlie, he's the very boy who drank his daddy's brandy. Don't want none of your weevily wheat, I don't want none of your barley. Give me flour in half an hour, I'll bake a cake for Charlie. I like coffee, I like tea, whiskey, wine and brandy. I like boys who go to town and bring me back some candy. Fitting to play it on a nylon string made in Scotland by Ewan Cantanach. It's an easy banjo to play. It plays itself. In quite a number of folk song cultures, there are where there's still a level of expertise of singing. They have pieces that are a little hard to sing, and they're kind of like a test for a singer. In Ireland, they have the Rocky Road to Dublin, which is a lot of words in a verse and a chorus, and you have to sing the whole thing on one breath. So this is a song like that. It's called Rattlesnake Mountain. From the time when rattlesnakes were all around the human settlement. On Rattlesnake Meewah Mountain I did dee-why dwell, and I've got a stee-why story I'm gonna tee-why tell. Come-a-roo-die-roo-die-roo. A nice young Meewah man in the month of Meewah May went out to the Feewah field for to mow his hay. Come-a-roo-die-roo-die-roo. He had not a Meewah mowed around the Feewah field when a rattlesnake come and bit him on the Heewah heel. Come-a-roo-die-roo-die-roo. He jumped up a hee-why high and looked all a wee-why round and closed his ee-why eyes and fell to the gee-why ground. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. It's a little bit low. Oh, little bee-why bird, go fetch my gee. I'll begin the whole thing so you have the whole idea in a proper key. My voice is very unpredictable these days. On Rattlesnake Me-why Mountain I did dee-why dwell, and I've got a stee-why story I'm gonna tee-why tell. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. A nice young me-why man in the month of me-why May went out to the fee-why field for to mow his hee-why hay. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. He had not a me-why mowed around the fee-why field when a rattlesnake-why snake come and bit him on the hee-why heel. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. He jumped up a hee-why high and looked all a wee-why round and closed his ee-why eyes and looked all a wee-why round. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. Oh, little bee-why bird, go fetch my gee-why gal. I'm rattlesnake bee-why bit and I need my sea-why sal. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. The little bird flea-why flew and spread the knee-why news, and along come see-why Sally without any she-why shoes. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. Oh, Johnny D-why dear, why did you G-why go out to the fee-why field the hay for the me-why mow? Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. Sally D-why dear, I thought you knee-why knowed when the hay gets re-why ripe it's gotta be me-why mowed. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. Oh, Johnny D-why dear, I'll save your lee-why life if I may be-why be your sweet little me-why wife. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. She grabbed his fee-why foot and made him squee-why squeal and sucked the pee-why poison out of his hee-why heel. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. But Sal, she hee-why had a rotten tee-why tooth, and the poison stee-why struck and killed them bee-why both. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. When the neighbours hee-why heard that they was dee-why dead, they laid them bee-why both upon one bee-why bed. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. So all young lee-why lovers a warning tee-why take from Sally B-why Blair and Johnny Blee-why Blake. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. When you're in lee-why love, don't ever pee-why pass into high pee-why patches of high G-why grass. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. Yes, all young lee-why lovers a warning tee-why take. Don't ever get bee-why bit by a rattlesnake-why snake. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. When a rattlesnake bee-why bites, it hurts like a knee-why knife. When true love bee-why beats, you're bit for the rest of your life. Come-a-roo-di-roo-di-roo. Well, I nearly didn't make it, but you get the idea, I think. It's fun to sing, actually. The next song was written to a different tune from the one I'm going to sing. You know that song that the McPeaks of Belfast sing? I think you're a lot of folk people out there. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pluck mild mountain thyme among the heather. Well, this song was made up to that tune, and I sang it to that tune for a long time. And then I thought, that song doesn't need new words. It doesn't seem a right thing to do. So I made up another tune based on the kind of ideas that are in the Wild Mountain Thyme song. And here it is. It's called How I Long for Peace. Oh, how I long for peace among the peoples and the nations. How I long to halt the plunder of the wonders of creation. Oh, how I long for peace. I cannot understand how the sisters, wives, and mothers cannot stop the slaughter of the husbands, sons, and brothers. Oh, how I long for peace among the peoples and the nations. How I long to halt the plunder of the wonders of creation. Oh, how I long for peace. There never can be peace till men abandon fighting as the way to deal with problems that prevent us from uniting. Oh, how I long for peace among the peoples and the nations. How I long to halt the plunder of the wonders of creation. Oh, how I long for peace. The profits made from war, there's few that can resist them. Hypocrisy and greed control the lifeblood of our system. Oh, how I long for peace among the peoples and the nations. How I long to halt the plunder of the wonders of creation. Oh, how I long for peace. The earth can wait no longer for political permission. Sit down, disrupt, do anything to make the whole world listen. Oh, how I long for peace among the peoples and the nations. How I long to halt the plunder of the wonders of creation. Oh, how I long for peace. Yeah. And I'm finishing with a song. Well, it's a very egotistical reason for writing it. I wrote it as an encore, and it would help me get off stage. I couldn't sing another song after this one. It's called Gotta Get Home by Midnight, and it's based on the Cinderella fairy tale, the one where she has to be home before midnight. It's called Gotta Get Home by Midnight. When I wake up in the morning, I'm 100 years old, my feet on the floor, and I'm 99. A good hot shower and I'm looking at 80. After breakfast I'm 79. Getting younger by the hour, gotta get home by midnight. It's a beautiful day and I'm 64 in my new red shoes. The kitchen is a dance floor. Lunchtime and I'm in my prime, 50 and I'm heading for 49. Getting younger by the hour, gotta get home by midnight. An hour ago I was 41, I said I was 39. But now I'm 20 heading for my teens, hormones driving me out of my mind. If I stay any longer I'll be buying those blue jeans, the ones manufactured with the holes all over. Getting younger by the hour, gotta get home by midnight. But when the clock strikes 12, nature resumes her own gravitational plan. Then I'm hitting the road with Father Time dragging me by the hand. But I'm gonna leave a little glass slipper behind before the rats start pulling my van. Getting younger by the hour, gotta get home by midnight. My doorbell rang in the middle of the night. Prince Charming is standing there. He gazed into my blue eyes. He says they're the color of time. He knelt down by my side, and that little glass slipper just fitted me fine. He's waiting for me now in the moonlight. He said, come home whenever you like. I want to run my hands through his curly gray hair. So good night, I gotta get home. And then I toddle off stage. It's a nice exit. There's no stage here tonight. And for those of you who want to know what the instrument by the curtain is on the wall, it's a bowed psaltery. You play it with a bow, and it gives a very almost squeaky high sound. So Canadians, it's really been nice to be with you tonight, and we're ending pretty close, bang on, to a half hour. It hasn't been my best singing, but I'll tell you, it hasn't been my worst. Thank you. Good night.
Oh,
Wow.
hey, thank you,
Peggy
Seeger.
Wow.
Oh, wow. She is so inspiring. Wow. Thank you, Peggy Seeger. If you have a little message for Peggy, like some people did, put it in the chat. Anytime before we finish up tonight, there'll be time when we're saying goodbye. You don't have to do it right now, but we'll pass it along. Start your message with her name, Peggy, so we can collect them easily. Okay, we have one more song to share this evening, written by Pasek and Paul, the duo who've been writing movie musical songs. This was for the movie musical The Greatest Showman. It's hard to beat the original performance by Kiala Settle, but we think the choir's performance and Nick's video of this piece are fantastic.
And its message of full self-acceptance and wholehearted encouragement to show up fully in life is right in line with what Big Brothers and Big Sisters and our choirs are all about. Please enjoy our final song for the evening, This Is Me. And this message is for you too. Own it and sing along, no apologies. This song is preceded by a video from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Victoria and area.
At Big Brothers Big Sisters, our vision is for all young people to realize their full potential. We enable life-changing mentoring relationships to ignite the potential and power of all kids and youth in our community. Our challenge is that many youth in our community and across Canada, through no fault of their own, struggle with adversities and societal barriers. Our solution? With the guidance and support of an adult mentor, our children believe that they can do anything that they dream of. We know that prolonged exposure to adverse conditions can create toxic stress and hinder the development and potential of our children. With the support of a mentor as a positive role model in their life, our youth can realize their full potential. With a time commitment of as little as 1 hour a week, our volunteer mentors are screened and matched with a young person in their community who they can spend time with and support through the ups and downs of their lives. At Big Brothers Big Sisters, we believe that a small act can create a big impact. And now more than ever, we need your help to continue to provide these services in our communities and support Victorian area's youth. Our programs have a 23-to-1 social investment, which means that every $1 invested in our programs is returned as $23 into the community. Our mentees see positive results in their school, their community, and their life. 92% of our mentees reported feeling more confident, and 98% felt that they made better life choices after being matched with a supportive adult mentor. Just some of the ways that you can help are to donate funds, contribute used clothing and collectibles, or donate your time as a volunteer mentor to support youth in our community. To learn more about how you can support our vision to ignite the potential of youth, visit victoria.bigbrothersbigsisters.ca.
me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
Another round of bullets fits my skin. We'll fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in.
We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are warriors. Yeah, that's what we've become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. Oh, we are glorious. But the sharpest words won't cut me down. Gonna stand a flood, gonna drown a mind. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. There's nothing when the sharpest words wanna cut me down. Gonna stand a flood, gonna drown 'em out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
His words will cut me down. Send the flood, gonna drown them out. This is me.
Well, wow, you know, it's interesting that Kathy and Dick and I have been, and Lynn too, have been perusing these videos with Nick for a while now. And, but I never got quite the emotional hit that I got now from it. Just knowing that all you are there and knowing that we're sharing this with you is an amazing thing. So thank you all for being here and for doing what you can for both these organizations. It's a wonderful thing that you're all doing. So thank you. And that brings us to the end of the evening. We have many people to thank for helping to make this happen. And I want to start by thanking my partner in crime, Dick Jackson here, for all of the managing of the technology that he has done, not only tonight, but all through the season to make this season happen.
Yeah.
Dick, you are a wonder worker, and so...
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dennis. It's been a joyful challenge.
And there are many others.
First of all, and with huge thanks, Peggy Seeger in Oxford, UK, and Katie Blake and Chris Perrin from Hat, Rhonda Brown, Mike Wyeth, and Ali McFarlane from Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Nick LaRiviere for audio and visual production, Catherine Albertson for graphic design, Amanda Tarling for Zoom Wizardry tonight, thank you, Graham Bennett for Zoom security, Lowell Ann Fugelsang for setting up YouTube Live, Nicole August for Facebook and YouTube help. Thanks to Lanny Paulet and Dennis for the instrumental music you heard earlier. And a great big hug of gratitude to our visionary friend Siobhan Robin-Song for starting up the Getting Higher Choir back in 1996.
Great thanks to our friend and fiddler Trish Barkley, and thanks to all our dedicated singers who shower us all with love and sing with us sweetly. This is the moment to show your thanks to the audience with all your hearts. Go on, choir. There you go. Show your thanks to the audience. All right. Over to you, Dennis.
And thanks to you, our wonderful, beautiful, generous audience, for being with us here tonight and for all of your donations. You can still donate to the links, and we're just going to get a number. Oops. Drum roll, please.
One moment. We've got... getting there. Getting two numbers together.
Okay.
I think we're over $6,000 for now.
Over $6,000 for now. Thank you so much, everybody. And they're going to be coming in for a while now.
Yeah, if anything here tonight made you say wow, tell everyone you know who might say wow as well. The full concert video, as well as the 6 song videos in glorious 4K video, are now available at the Getting Higher Choir YouTube channel. I will paste a link to that right into the chat right now. You can go there and your browser will take you there when you're ready. That is the Getting Higher Choir YouTube channel, or you can find it by searching. We will send one follow-up email that will connect you with all the links that we have given here tonight and the link to the song videos in case you missed it.
Please check the Wavelengths Community Choir website, wavelengthschoir.ca, or the GHC website, or the GHC website, gettinghigherchoir.ca, to find out how you can join us in song in the coming season, which begins online February 21st.
And heartfelt thanks and goodbye to the folks who tuned in with YouTube Live. Thank you for watching. We invite you, our audience here, if you wish to unmute and show your appreciation for our amazing singers and our whole musical technical team. Good night all from us, and on behalf of Big Brothers, Big Sisters and HAT, thank you for your generosity.